Another mala kenyam kernas dialtin kontin. Barwais ni bakalingwa seme ker Nuer online TV channel. Jawaban lingwa seme en wale. Banarwa ke kui Angelina Teny. Minister of Interior. Kashek Dr. Riek Machar. Kimanduare. Men banaling ke roltin kontin talk. Ke social media ne tungwan bel ke Angelina Teny ano jena ngum charwach ke kirma yadit ko de Dr. Machar de jalun bana lerme bana jeling diala to tin wanka na dong belerme beka lun bantin kono to bana kangach ken kono ni ami jiram jidit gwasame gore jen wo jender lerme de nywane de koken no ka gor jeno bader subscribe mi jara mi jidit ana chana man to gwata me chan jilin kenyam beje kwen ke tok English ka do badana cha gor ke je den ka kore bana je link ka tok ne internas brode palping ko ne me gore chobluach gore liang ka do badan dong der ander titi da ngai ke je Angelina Teny a kwermedit. Today we are going to discuss the issue surrounding Dr. Riek Machar and the first Vice President of South Sudan and his wife Angelina Teny, who is also the Minister of Interior. Both are under house arrest in Juba. And the situation has sparked a lot of debate among South Sudanese citizens and political observers. Many people are asking, why is Angelina Teny silent about the detention of her husband? Why has she not spoken out? And what does this mean for the future of the peace agreement in South Sudan? Dr. Riek Machar is not a new figure in South Sudanese politics. He has been at the center of the country's struggle for decades. From the early day of the Liberation War to his leadership of the SPLM in opposition. Dr. Riek Machar has been a controversial but key player. He is the current first Vice President under the revitalized peace agreement signed in 2018 between him and Kir Mayadit. Despite this position, Machar has been restricted in Juba. Reports indicate that he cannot move freely. He cannot travel abroad, and he cannot meet his supporter. This situation has effectively turned him into a prisoner, even though he holds the second highest office in the land. Angelina Teny is not only Dr. Riek Machar's wife. She is also a seasoned politician in her own right. She currently serves as a South Sudanese Minister of Interior, one of the most powerful and sensitive positions in the government. In theory, this position gave her influence over police forces, internal security, and civil administration. Because of her high-profile role, many South Sudanese citizens believe Angelina could negotiate with President Salva Kiir to secure her husband's release. People saw her as the bridge between Machar opposition movement and the Kiir-led government. But what has shocked many is that Angelina Teny has remained silent. She has not issued a public statement demanding her husband's freedom. She has not raised her voice in government forum. This silence has led to frustration and disappointment among ordinary citizens who expected her to act. The public reaction has been very strong. Many ordinary South Sudanese, especially supporters of the SPLM, feel betrayed. They argue that Angelina Teny is failing in her duty both as a wife and as a political leader. Some citizens openly said, if Angelina Teny cannot fight for her own husband, how can she fight for the people of South Sudan? Others believe she has been co-opted by Salva Kiir's government and is therefore unwilling to confront the President Kir Mayadit. This blame and criticism highlight the high expectation people place on her. In African political culture, especially in South Sudan, people often expect family members of leaders to play a role in defending them. But the reality of politics inside Juba is far more complicated. What many people do not know is that Angelina Teny herself is under house arrest. Her movements are heavily restricted by government forces. She cannot travel freely. She cannot address rallies. She cannot even speak to the media without permission. So, her silence may not be voluntary. She may be silenced by the same system that has confined her husband. This changed the way we look at the situation. Instead of blaming her, some observers argue that she is also a victim of political repression. The government decision to restrict both Machar and Angelina show a clear strategy to weaken the SPLM-IO by silencing its top two leaders. Without their active participation, the opposition is left confused, divided, and powerless. Why is the government doing this? Analysts said it is a calculated political move by President Salva Kiir Mayardit regime. By keeping Machar under house arrest, Kiir ensured that the SPLM-IO cannot reorganize or mobilize its supporters. At the same time, by confining Angelina Teny, the government prevents her from playing role of mediator or mobilizer. The SPLM-IO loses both its male and female leaders at once. This weakened the party and strengthened Kiir's control over the political process. This also has implications for the peace agreement. If Machar and Angelina are silenced, it becomes harder to implement a reform, security arrangement, or power-sharing measures. The balance of power tilts heavily toward the ruling SPLM under Kiir Mayardit. So why is Angelina silent? There are three possible explanations. Number one, restricted freedom. She is under house arrest and therefore unable to speak freely. Number two, political survival. Even if she could speak, raising her voice against Kiir might result in harsher punishment or total removal from her position. She may believe staying silent preserves at least some influence. Number three, strategic silence. Some argue that she may be waiting for the right political moment to speak or act, knowing that any premature move could endanger her and her husband further. Regardless of the reason, the result is the same frustration among the people who expected her to act. The confinement of both Machar and Angelina has paralyzed the SPLM-IO. Many opposition members feel leaderless and disorganized. This has also delayed key party of peace agreement, including security arrangement and preparation for election. Without Machar leadership and Angelina influence, the opposition role in the transitional government is reduced to symbolism rather than real power sharing. The public mood is one of anger, disappointment, and fear. Supporters of Machar feel betrayed not only by the government but also by their own leaders. Some even question whether the SPLM-IO can still represent their interests. Looking forward, the big question is what happens next? Will international pressure mount to release Machar and Angelina? Will the opposition reorganize itself despite these restrictions? Or will the government succeed in silencing its rival permanently? In conclusion, the issue of Angelina Teny's silence is more complicated than it seems. While many blame her for not speaking out, the reality is that she herself is under house arrest. Both she and Dr. Machar are being held hostage by a political system that wants to weaken the opposition and consolidate power. This situation is not about a husband and wife. It is about the future of peace, democracy, and power sharing in South Sudan. The silence of Angelina Teny tells us less about her personal choice and more about the growing repression in the country politics. Our citizens continue to demand answer. The fate of South Sudan peace agreement and the stability of the nation hang in the balance. Nathan Rewika South Sudan kieno gwada dantenaten belke Angelina Teny belke jejenene wajen gurke jen wodere right ke Kiir Mayardit ngai konen wo Angelina Teny jen okwer me la kwadi ne de control na ko te police ne te pin de security ba te pin de jen ke ko minister of interior jen take a power me dit ka do badana gwi ke jen no chi which dai wi ka so Sudan che te ne te wan long te right ki gor ke jen o ba ngaje no Angelina Teny position de position me te di entama ka jen gwasme gwan ma cha chaw de cha je yenten akir me yadit ka jen gwi ka jen o dera right ka tele jow de me chana ling inating wan ti kan debate long ka ta danen we which ka jen ka do badana cha yen dak sheng ma char gwi ka jen o Angelina Teny dera right dera tin kontin yar ka which dera kalat ka dera right ke kir me yadit ka do badana ende dak sheng ma cha de jelun ke jen Angelina Teny Rami mo Minister of Interior jen kene Dr. Machar first by President kan dial chaka yen kan dial tigare ti jen sengna men tika under our saris dorian gwadan chaka yen tin ngai kono no bume long ano dong der ander right ko Angelina cha yen ka Dr. Machar ba cha yen ba kan dial chaka detain so de na ti jeno ngum mi chora ke je ke ngulu de mo ka ta dan bu mal bu we ke je re wi ke so Sudan ko en bas kwa dang ro ti dit ka kuma SPLIO ka cha ye na kir me yadit lo de ngu ke nyu do ngo nyu de jeno mal teleje bu ko de ngaje no ne da reg ma char jen shi ram jidit jene key figure ka kuma so Sudan ke lu ka so Sudanese politic jen che struggle long ko bare ba so Sudan ba jek kene ne diala content cha so Sudan cha je cha kene jagalor celebration struggle ko dial teten ngai kon manon kuma SPLIO mun ba ko chola SPLIO ko je akore da na ci to ke 2013 da fema char a kwerpan badjen aram mo te family take a check da dara watch te kamanda na gwe kana ko jen aramkel me ke figure mi mal chetan mara won kin dang rewel badda gwe ke jen o de check da dara watch ala Angelina Teny shangman ta Angelina Teny take a position bukon di ala ngaji no nena jen teleje power ba ko jen mi chai yen tele gwade ro ke je gwade ndara right na banete ngwan gwe jen wo dara kirma yadi te dara right ke je na mo ko expect long na itong wan ngai ko na ring ma chana me dana were wi kujuba kana manjal kana manora arwich tel gwa mi chup minuten che je kana itin content la support reke che je boga ne diala dongor ga jeno de je ka jabane ko jen arami cha yen mi she move tel gwa weten ten nyen gwa kel ne gwa de dana cha yen ke je mujak situation da ko bala mi bej ajen mo kuna la ti gentleman go Angelina Teny position de Teny ko ba Dr. Machar ba jelun men ban ngai gwase me netin wan belken Angelina o de Angelina Teny de right ke kir ban men bi angach Angelina Teny ke shek karwade gen a politician mi take a position mi dit gen take a role as a leader rewich so mi yan keje dong che de ben ko bo tiech ala rami mola la shek ka Dr. Machar ko ngai ko na general mi mo mi take a position mi dit a Minister of Interior, one of the most powerful and sensitive position in the government, and position na tetin take influence mi dit ke take a power gen take a power ka police force, take a power ka internal security, take a power boka civil administration la gang di ala kontra yuka so dante Angelina Teny take a power ten ka kuje mo an power ram take a Angelina Teny ku jen wo jen jaga ko dong che bro jone no kata dan guje je kaja but kaji witten kontin la netin kokien citizen South Sudan we can know there power there je use there right ke kir ko de chode de je diluin ko gwi jen wo jen there la Ramadan dong de tika long kam de kene reg machar la chode kene kir ma yadit so there right ke kir ko kire janam dana langu la kwer so dara ki dara je pressure but yet wakan Angelina Teny kananen kinere wan chiga gajelong ko nguda Angelina Teny kana jore man kap ko media kan je menen ke social media ki be right gwan der righten tell me lar publicly tell statement me be made ki right malade ke kwiwo cha chore cha je yen ki cha dakre mu cha je yare wi ki juba kana jore man kamnial ka government forum gwadan la jukum la kana righten tell me malar do be bi daga jama jan jang na itun wan ko bi ka diero ka baje question en go latengu public reaction gwaseme tinedin wan chicken rolalong belken Angelina Teny especially the country la jukum asfilayo e kana shago betray ta Angelina Teny e kana Angelina Teny jen chelwanga dana tekeje ki duty de alaramimo la check ke political leader wache je fail ko at the same time kind of like ku issue as a part of Riek Machar family anyok ba kana la wajbo ala political leader bo ko don bo system da dong da ka use da ka da je use da bara la ordinary person da right kata da dong de Riek Machar de lo ngeja kanyok ba da waja la politician ana mutere kuma kaba lo da power dang ro da ka use chinere wandi gala da wona kana Angelina Teny michet kor shware che de tere dere chora dere gwa de ter ko de jalun nyen dere wi dere je kula longdi ko dere jarwach micha ken chirwa ne jen ka kwi Riek Machar abe kiri jogono jin lon chawda ke lon Riek Machar a jel freely a move freely so michit kana me gege jeno jen dong logo ne jeno baje church ke baje wo ka position dar teten ala minister of interior dong je logo mo dong je mbide ka jemo ka jodan leng je ka je en do bran belje ka je ke lat ke je jor ka je ngai nana wonene anu mi dong ko je che ka dong dar right but ka reality ngai kona ka Africa political culture especially ka South Sudan alami mi chi family members chaje yen la gwe family members mo ano kenetin content beram mo bijo kamrar ba tin diala kone dongde na ko la fay ke ne dial ye dongde gram mo kamrar ba jepel ngai konta mete ke family members mi cha yen na la jogo ni yen pangun yen je family to to ya woro kore bina jen kam dan lero de reality den banalo bile wu wuri jichin mi ci ka mo ami je ga long na mo e culture ka Africa mi shodo lu tero lu bene ke kuma la ja gore ne dial bi ke mi kai kana la togo no Riek Machar e inasan ne dial kan der wajone ba cha de bele nga cha de bele Angelina Teny e ko jene Sheikh Riek Machar ke jen bele la politician ba mi ngai ke je la togo no Riek Machar e inasan de kon voice dan de kon atup chiri mala kon atum ni siang no Riek Machar lo ngeje ki abrare tijen so we should not just wait for Angelina Teny to beg Kir Mayadi to release Riek Machar na mo chedele so ne to one quick can Angelina Teny and ojen point there amicha yen bo ko micha yen what does that mean when you are under house arrest it means that you do not have a voice to talk. You do not even have demand. Today, Larno and the Melade, kill any many. Make on a point, she cannot travel freely. She cannot address rallies. She cannot even speak to the media without permission. Chadera media about can a kirkan your conti, Cosan Dorian, charge a goal kellu. Dorian, she free. Dorian, te under security 24/7. Alokan chen kenere kal, Laura Bang. So Mishit Kaname, they con Jigunodi, Angelina Teny, innocent at this point. A chang Bajabel Bonico, Janekan, Raike Kim Yadit, quick con Matuogo, behind the closed door. No, don't la Roger Kim Yadit, nobody know, but reality stand, Angelina Teny, Jen, a politician, Kajan, a sheik. So there you right punch, but me, Jamadan Shakula Yeneja. Hello, there could write the Guatadian Kajano Chayen. Take under our Sarah, Sitkaman Chad, Darkama Chayen, but a Bobadian there could write a tell away out. But there Joe, there Jatukaja. so na me jaga Angelina Teny ko betir jaga je ko bebiet ka jaga je ko cha jo de billing ko dong da right ke kwi shwade ko telewe mi da media ndar ka address ke je be ga jogo no emen yan ke showda na mene ka do bdan balun ke je jene ki di mountain ko na gorke kin mi yadi diketi ten so telewe mi da right ke je so jo bide je mona Angelina Teny bu ko ndiala ngaje no chebi lora bang bide ko jen tele jo mi da to ko di dial te ke pinkir mi yadi en kire jaram dan dong de dakreng ma cha der jalun willingly a chen ke joro be che jogu to bo en point Angelina Teny bo ngode bo dong cha de link ka joro bo dong cha de bilar publicly kon kir che goro no te me de link rar ka tin kon lat ko din so the only thing andan le rode o ti dial ba galat ke ping so ngai kon dial no ti dial ti yerkan mal do ba dan right nat ke je en o de Angelina Teny there the right ke kir ke je o ngai ke je no ken kir teken ko en position dan cha kame ala Minister of Interior she position method a position medit so there are power more there je use again that is what the citizens are expecting from her tell me dodien du no bi anga jene kir decision cha gorjen o de kuma espela yo there survive kir mi yadi lere ko be espela yo be je destroyed chimo ona jamani ntama so mungai commission me the government decision to restrict both Machar and Angelina show a clear strategy to weaken the SPLIU by silencing its top two leaders. Without direct participation, the opposition is left confused, divided, and powerless. Ken kwadang roti koko kwarka kume SPLIU. Ken she can be Laura Bang, especially Angelina Teny be Laura Bang ko ramecha yen chaja yen. But then metega lo yen ma wona kane te kone cha yen te la prisoner intamara wiki juba awo be kume SPLA I wo betul awo betalwang bela powerless terambila right terambe jore bile kamnyal jen do bada nen jen sha Angelina Teny charo keje ko tel do me der right keje jin mi chaje gag duel do be ndero kan rara je more duel abilla be right ka media ke baje moj ka gwad me deji inviting below writing kajina ti under our shares chala na tiger division nyam duarun yo kalun kana nyam da kana togde godi al shaka gol do be de kula rake jam telewe out so do be dana belke Angelina Teny yes de je dilbel but che chong at this point ko medan gwade dane kanane me kanane yene ko kan yene Dr. Machar ka kore chamo valeka everything chako wikaka shit ko ngai kona chamo bale shaka kan chakona ling bono men point and or point Dr. Machar electric bo wona ka piu kan yala wacha ga ngogo ne ke chaka cut off so di chikereti lat keke ko bene loinentin ko kien be jat ka ta dan let kira de kon tejeno ngum let kum me shikana me na me it is a calculated political move me jene ka kirma yadi pointer regime den kir yende ka Dr. Machar mo je kirma yadi power medit ko be wekele be je control no ka baro organize but ka force not one when it in content chunkel ka Dr. Machar be kan yal baka kok ko chang bilel Dr. Machar le barar be chutel power anyok che gorben go che Angelina Teny che be jago barach then Jeredial chega confiscated mobile phone, any electronic, so they do not have any communication with the outside world. The reality, the lat corodienti, or bakum espela or baja yar, so jandan at home. So Jimmy Belly Angelina Teny, Kata dan a guji gajan or janacharach, be the ngajano, take the same situation that a husband is facing. So Chagwinjano ko Ladiano Jane a chargelunyane ke donkey yenke, gente yena, ramt yenke chaderwach. So they could ko dobadan a bit Angelina Teny man dong dewi jerama money. No. Manyam be con ngajano Angelina Teny te under our sares, ramacha yen telegram within catch a dechet them right madong. A changuji. Ma jana nyamna ma right kaje man ci right kaje bi ngajana mon bi ngajano Angelina Teny bide ko jen tele jalwang right now ko chaja yen te dore kene shode no pain ke human being ke family ban muche ben ke politic la to la kene la ka bat ke ramadan te ka power shekin yadi ramadan te ka lwang so che power in che jo wika mana dianan dongi konde Angelina Teny dare bet ke je ojen che bugorno ba je wuch ka komdana cha kame kirma yadi na madara kelbone ko mi charach de punish ka punish menamo de je dismiss totally de kwardana cha kame de je wikeje so na money dare je jakob bedbo a chante ka lwanko dare right kana ki free dam chirmo da jalat de dien gwaze mene dare dongor na duomi mo ki chap and point Angelina Teny chaba mo dong di ojen wo dare bi da mat many mo chateka gwa mi chugwa ki jale teke right time ki right political moment then dare kula right keje no dong dare kula mandana dong dare kula ke kwisho ada ki ke kwi vice president Dr. Machar dong dare kula right keje so dong she's waiting for the right time to speak. That strategic silencing bo quick corner. So the reality en ta dana bide ke je chikono ngaje no chene to wanche mu ke frustration and frustration money adop ko china chicken guje no okay Angelina Teny lajen mabida mo dong che gore jeno de Dr. Machar de jalun so jan do dana dong di ne dial ke je but bi ngaje no ne Angelina Teny at the same time a wife kajan a politician so rawde tene tekeje yene cha yen ko jan e shek Dr. Machar yan ka je ko jen a politician mitika kume don kume SPLAIO anyog jen take a government position midit interior minister of interior so kan diala kona tegaje kona pelo jene rami mo mila shek but ponje ko take a role midit ka kume jaka ko chede roch number one thing ko take a role midit ka kume che jore che de kap enemi charo de kula bare wuch dare kula ro chirar chiremen at Nathaniel wo yet but mitere wijen tem right now chim right kone tele do mi mo dare right keje bana ba ka dress ke en rally mishalat ki na ben wi char ba right nyam na no men yan ke chawda ne me ka chawda lo keje ki ne ma to che de melan me don cause ta under outside so tele do mi dare ben yal keje so atu gan tama ano bana jabel wrong ko rame cha yen chide lo bele jeno ngu mitire ti jeno ne rame de bele rame trar ka charwach ke tala joro mato be jaram dan la gorgano babel de jogono jin she due to do chi japel as a wife ki as a family members so teacher the top ne de gato so che gwano bana Angelina Teny bana je bel ka dong te gato ngwalong te gaya gwad dan te tenre ti jen so jo me mugor kono de kono len ka do branen cheto kaje loin Dr. Machar of course ek Machar baje loin shi o chaje blun but loin de te ga let want to go long kere mangai kona let to touch me channeling gor ka je no de Machar no their position there je denounce ke there the watch ko kuma ko this is what kid is expecting ka Dr. Machar and de Dr. Machar there brar chedelo ngot kwara chedelo ngot la pada SPLAIO no mo amugi kirma yadi de long ka jenda na ke bon watin ko kienden kon de kel ga je en kir ko kan wadi ala konte ko competition eno mi cha Dr. Machar charge watch ke charge put away charge silent alo ke tel power shala powerless ke charge weekend then de ga ability me de kan position di de dan ngor ken o de kam ga de kan jek ko weekend Dr. Machar no jene a burden ki jam tek mi ma chikana lwanka ach gor kana be kana get out of the way so gor kan de kan George so mi chikana me jalari gone jen me jira mi mo me jen politician ki jira mo gor kwer chu gwenje no ram mo trade ka ko take a position mi din mi teten karundial you never know no en gwada do belet ko de jetena ne kujije anyok mi karana terka bom chire medane chikir chala no take kum chala Dr. Machar jigo no tare kai kele tel mi chala kum chalat so all this thing ka wrong chike chung kalat ke ka do ko political motivated mimo goro jeno ban wer ba ka silent ba cha de kula ngaje de dial kon ni kelke kim yadit gwad me jenda na gore de kon chungten Angelina Teny biede ngai kon no biede katin kontin chalet kaka kano te lwagien kata dom da ra keje so ana bana chong gwad mo ban nyo je kala redien bi atakamal babai anar malaken yam kana dialtin kontin barwani lingwa seme ka Nuer online TV channel anda manduni chan kon nyamle non roine gwaseme lertin bana linga wale ka lerte goro de kon kaling no to kon katung wan be kon kaling gwaseme menyam goro jeno baraj ke kwi koranda na chitwo kor chitwo ka longo shuk kam de na SSPDF kana de na SPLAIO ka kore bana jo bana jeling ka damandan kelmi bumbum mitre kuma ka gwasmo be kon masjidan be to bana jelene nyokaliang but kenyam chana calling ni mandala breaking news bana kulo ka rajadana lade no men gorno ben yoga kel gwasme ta ko dana chitok nika kor tarun wangandan chetogo no cha deni SSPDF wa cha ka kapkora kuma SPLAIO wa cha ka dakka cha ka joj kalonga shuk wakan chaka joine re rop Washington re rop ntame cha de ne SSPDF chaka yaw ka dor anyok ci kuma SPLAIO cha tekane di kan ka kap ko jodan chalat no so me lero de wichin winami attack korin kona charlat ngai kona twok ano kuma mara ke kirme yadi cikana gorno bikan kuma SPLAIO bikan ka woch goni kendial bara kore ci twoga wale kam SSPDF kana kuma SPLAIO cha joje no cha de ne kirme yadi chaga jujre guch antame wachen kanere ruop ko korwa ngode wekawe kan tidiala content charen lat miti ke liam ci twoktin ke mi chode ladone kana kon lat bat cha ne cha nyon netin kon tin cha mo ka bot ram ken mi cha nyot ke video mi cha ber ke cha kep deni SPLAIO ram mo chala do kana nek te ka ta dan ci korche togoje korche beje long ko kume SSPDF kon kume SSPDF awaken panken chore ya ka bot tegen ngameji dit badno che nyan ke ko deni SPLAIO kene deni tin kolal nan Nuer mi awakan tin content charin mat chukan kume kirmi yadi jukana yo joj wachi kan re akador antam chikan ngot re wikalungu shuk wa kare ruop lungu shuk ton wacha de kep no shukur mo choralat men bi ahul ngajene edin kon nyen taga Nuer tigitin kwin dangro Nuer ka de SPLAIO ka Nuer ka kum kirmi yadit kan Nuer ko te ka kum kirmi yadit ka gati cha kok kirmi yadit cha ko yo ko bi kan kir bi kana gang kana ne dialan ko ya kwan commissioner cha kwan kirmi yadit da wajen cha de joj but chela do jenen ngot ke te ka gwat mitigatin within Matiang but you kum SPLAIO chikala do na mo kach kan cha ga jo chikan ngot re wit ka Matiang kanere ruop gwat dan cha ga joten jowo me wa mele rode wa kum SSPDF jatin real karudi ne ka kode kan kum SPLAIO de kan nyoka mu joy kana ba but kum SPLAIO chikala no tel mu goro ba ka joj ajen mi chikana yan pinya tama kani bine kurme bine tera men mi cha dakre mo cha chaje luñ ajen ko dan cho laren wale cha de ne SPLAIO no kendial wa chiken de ne SSPDF chiken ga joj gwazante kon tegatin jowo me mede yan len ka do baranan chalat keja lera pa kon lingwase me ata danan ci korje togoje are wikulungu shuka Matiang ngai kona kumne chiang token winimi but kore me different kore mene kam Nuerin kon shunkel ke dakre ma char ki Nuer content cha dorin chaje kana jang re wikulungu shuk niga gwase dan me ci kor me ci to kore dan to ka Nasser ci kon ngadi no cha long shuk ne chaje bok kume kirmi yadit bokane kare nyale anyoka ken kor jen pay me pay badaga mi pay wo kon walte kon chankel pay won no kajen pay badak cha Nuer re wichin winimi bo cha ka bukarenyal kum kirmi yadit ci kum SPLAIO ci kan yo kaje no ngweno bnaro denu wonak ki ba ka jujre wi ka Matiang ajen do badan ci le ro lar no mo cha de ni SSPDF cha ka juj ka cha re ko dor cha jo misir no mo cha jelat jo ban nyogmel kwen kono gwasme bala manda en shore lat no ka jo mi chalat gwasme mi gor be nyaa yekel gor jeno de koneling no karam kelmi very important person re which ka South Sudan bar kon la roch mi chenon gwatme galwa jo nyot ki Dixon galwak jo mi chalat gwasme ka tada and South Sudan te keje bar mandana chalat gwasme ban jelin kel ki muchindan en che gorno banaling gor jeno de ko dan palpin ke lengde mi jiram jidit gwasme kan Nuer online TV channel gorje an wojin der jome de nyane ko ken ki pele rod pink lengde ko do badan shenon ka je ko gor kono bu ko wani bu kon kaling de ko dan palping petin kono belat gwasme tuga en mandana belat ko very important ko kondial ani chan jilin kel ka do badan en che to ko je
kwalum chata loy medit ko ci kon jigan wala an wala changa kel ka pay bangwan ko won bag dor dang raw ci wudien ke jandang raw with this 2025 aram ray ke yama Angelo Dixon Galwak, the leader of South Sudan United Front. Arauda, a hand member of the coalition of South Sudan opposition movements, Minchal Kesisam, and Walla, Banarai Kediok, Kiangwan, Kalyamajino, you have to pay attention. Kakwika Tilaka Rodian. Amanyam maybe Banarai. Kamadi the Wuna, especially in Yanuare. Madi the Wuna, Tuli the put the Kajin of Sudan. And no Yenwe Yenedi. Kocha George and the South, and Tamaroya Core. Quijin and Nuermiterate, Ki Kotara. Maybe we may try to touch Banarai a bit about the current political situation in the Republic of South Sudan. And how do you perceive it? How do you look at the current situation? And how is it affecting the Nuer community at large, and particularly in the Greater Upper Nile? Banarai the Pida, Ahmad. Again, Banarai Bernunane, for how long the SPLA has been humiliating the Nuer society and community dum Nueri and Walla, the Chenga Kel Kafaibanwan, 2025. Banarodam Tijanunane, it has been how long? A Kian Yang Matidichan Nuerim since the inception of the SPLA or SPLA from 83. Actually, under the leadership of the SPLA. Seen 83. Maybe one right there. I know. Banaguibo and SPLM go a court. Kid contact you on Kolar on an SPLM Jia. Number one, Chakon weekend politically, and then Chakon weekend economically. Gorobo Banarodan Tite. Why there is a failure of the leadership? A woman failed leadership mainly from the Western Nile, and particularly Kabar Ghazal, and not Bar Ghazal El Kubra, not the whole Bar Ghazal. Why there is a failure of leadership, especially Kawara? Why is Salva Kiir and mainly the people of Greater Wara, why are they failing the South Sudanese? Eastern Nile, Garang has tried his level best. A person like Dr. Yak has tried his level best, even during the time of his struggle. But why the Western Nile, mainly Bar Ghazal, and not Bar Ghazal in general, and particularly the Wara? Why are we failing? As we have now realized that Salva have gone up to the level of trying to build the kingdom, bringing his own in-law, his own daughters. A person like Adut, a person like Bol Mel. Bana right thing. And Chigado Warab Chiga failed. And then again, why is it important? But freedom. Laja Jiga Bang, Kelana Naga. I shall not dual for the continent. Makai continent take a presbytery, Lakai take a CTC, Christian temple, Chinese money, Bakra to struggle, China Luton, Charanga and Gitin. Medan 7 Adventist, which will be a dagina more, be a dagina good, be a dagin giwidun. For the Christianity and over George, she now lived. Dwell for the Kunala Galantama. Knew the Jew freedom, Gerald the Parka Benba. Lana Naga, in Ichuitin, until finally, long be our Jigurun. Go I can few things, can't tell about what's in. Chairman Jeshuresha Ladia, the current chairman of South Sudan United Front, his South Nairobi Declaration. So when I'm about to talk from 205, here a Canabenton, go on and never remind the current situation in Tuawatam. How do you proceed? At I'm right corner, coach at talk, Nyaka Equatoria, Nyaka Gadi, Equatoria, Equatoria, Nyaka Tama, Kagadi Yamaka code. And if you are not hear the gay, at I'm right corner, Jabenakalanya. Again, at time a year the Gaja, as you speak and walla, year the Galon sugar and walla. The carry report, year the Gaja, at time Galon ship, can time a year the Canasser, here Pana Lara you can, and then again, at time a year the Ray Fanga. The year Pankatwinja, the year the Gapum, at time a wine cabin too. Kabe yidwo many bargazal. And a modern you do in the engine of Sudan, Chaloi Kor. Michaloi Kor, Kubedu, Kulangu, Giramamo. Kukane Terar, Kivi and Girak. The road to Tijanun, how do you look at the current situation? Budunwabi at Bar. Kia Aguad Medena the Laranun and Kailora. So can them you in current situation in some South Sudan to join you your core. Kuterejo, Kuterar, and a Tiro, Kawi Sherry, being Najanun, what is my role? Latin de la Ray Rajame. Kuya Georgian, which were core. By years, Kayeda, Kabata Yeda. Until China the good is one in Kajun Sudan, Chaka Kamra. Number 2 deal Jason and Panano just and take up in Chiu Chaga. Just take up a two chagak. Come would work over. Although the Lara no Kodlana Loka Kui and Koran Lela Gaga, she could have given of Sudan. A Koran Yin come down Syria, can the Sudan government, the Sudan army. So Cha English book, she year to Korean and then it forced the shutdown of the oil, meant to South Sudan. You have to know Maturke. Any and a more dear to teach. And on a woman be Kata work away. So, I can't have situation, Mendaton. Go on, I ban a worker woman for how long and no NSPLM and SPLM. Channel you can with your SSPD, Mandan Akai. Manakon again as well. From 205 until 20 years down the line, ngay ko ne nune she needed one again. She got guide because she didn't what you could expect. From 2005 to 2025, Miti Korodan, a woman can Egypt, Ray Yangamatare, which Kajin of Sudan. Which you win in the NSPLM chat through the corruption. From 83, SPLM took a Nuer Nerol Gaja by 83 up to now. Kind of Nuer Palkamanaga. Shotore Gaja, Shogajang by 83, away 84, again they could have called it, didn't Yenke. Instead of Nate Laneka, did I put a Lebrenike, Katakan Cassia Samokama Koi. She division to a talk from 83, again it should take a two, you kaila, you na from 83, again it look a guide to me, again you look a guy condial, may she have done a shoulder down, again you got a diana from 83. Ko SPLM again a shaka. And then by 83, Shoga Ali, Show Sharp Gajak Shoganak, Generator Koro Darang, Koro Barge, Koro Mariale, it was the SPL. So now Shoganak and with it. Many Jennifer Benke 84, so Shobray Logger. 84 to 85, Shogamanak and Nagadi. And then to advance to Central Nuer, to Fangap, and then to advance to Bentiu. Ramakuja Damala and Quijimenu Nagna, and Umi Nagna from 80s up to now, Nagna, as well. Show Bentiu, and it has gone up to the far north. Shonagamayo. Menagna, as well, a leadership in as well. Teny the one can, which would a bully, cut the far west. Be away you can know, like the one and never lie. Shana and they did not know it. My men don't worry. Men don't worry, Mark, men don't worry, again a spell. Again a spell. So, Michi winning again. Despite the uncontrolled one, tell me she wrote along. And then Kakora, the Kora and Tijan, and conflict is a great conflict that she wrote in great race film. Kora the Alde Talker is Talker as film up to now. Kajan Mudaba, they are now up to now. And then when you try to look at the killing, she made a lot of 2012. May not a Jew, a lady, a lady Jewish or little con, a lady war. Caporates. So you are showing a 2012. When the people of Wow protest against the relocation of the headquarters of Wow. And then Shwaganak. It was around December. December 2012. And then Shwajiwa Shwaganak. Can you know, can you get 2013? So, may weapon arrogant thing. 2013. She was talking to the neighbor Nuer door to door. So Nuer never give a door to door, Kakur Mini Tiger Division, and then she would turn against ethnic cleansings. Nuer, they were tortured, they were killed, door to door, and she connected to Kurwan, about 400,000 Chakaluth, which is 500,000. SPLM Shwaganak. So ka kono mode igur kon SPLM. So Michi wo gji ka to da ji nyodo ne tell me ngai kon. So maybe by ya ko remind you ne what is the SPLM kan wore. And SPLM me de la de ne can you can't take cool and a kick and guy take cool and neck medan? Can I do you are? And current as well, and the Colorado don't is. Go can I do your nation, they do your white, they put your new comedian. But the way she manadan, she can aid show. Nim point community, a community guy, Jack, you put your New York 83. You are order 10 against them. Imagine I'm putting you already like yellow, a yellow. Kajan will not want to have more room. I'm a Mishuan where I'm a country the Nuer. Can I do self-analytical? chỉ một right giờ tung người mà đây là đu đến video mà mới vừa yo bè ngay giờ có dân right giờ là đu cả tung người right giờ cả tung ber có dân phi cái gì trắng and at the same time right giờ cả tung bui nè chỉ confess là cái dân agan nga kan phi đó gad garan kap kan weri and ma biure nan cha ga nyuor chi chi kel kan weri men me cha ku ma ya leka gad kirbino kwaine anga ma kan pi de nuer lakin me ji ku ma ben chwa to ka wona ne ke yitem eno ne ba ga ya kwan kien ka kan ba ko ina bà này đi lưu bà gai ra có khép bà có bình chặt luôn nè bà có quỷ nà chùa host community services state đều cũng là cầm cái khối chiếc chùa chiếc cái này nhiều chùa cái deny and we did cũng là we did để còn cho cả đó and SPLM itself chùa ten against jikai anh nhớ cái SPLM đúng à này để cho các cô bị nhur cái Eastern đây jikai chi mình luôn mai nữa chi quân phơi nữa nhà phơi nữa lakin after all where are we con an interim nên có đó đam tin anh ta mới cho con làm cái the level metal ram ngay ngạc Canadian especially is chỉ có là liêm chỉ có là gai cái SPL mấy cô con là nation and nôn là dân ba khum mấy chị quên này nhỉ để con là ngay nôn là tell me SPL tell me belat cái con and patriotism của là lát đó anh gang có đam tin tell me the tin cái tell leadership cái wisdom mình nên con là cái kia again ne kan te dia te lenin garang te garang kalat chana Nuer and the legacy dung Dr. John garang e to de chalat shall be destroyed here and for that reason they gonna learn when SPLM shall fail and completely a Western Nile especially the Barkazal and mainly kan gada wara chike SPLM chike fail so chẳng nó mà cho Dr. John and Trump sẽ work his own grave sẽ working sẽ lấy cái gì sẽ là cái lưu sẽ destroy sẽ bằng cái we need another liberation good con another liberation mà bạn này lát cái bữa con nặng nhau cái bữa nó garang has gone down and is actually being known as the other reformists within the SPLM. But all the reform, where are they? So can they have been destroyed? So again, and one of my kakentin tingu and never conquer which I know Banabengo and SPLM by itself. Chairman Jipon and I know the fail West. Cha fail ka Barkazal ko ba restore and ba dignity dung South Sudanese ba la de she ko na dan as well but deal a better leadership me be benya ko no chol ne ye Nuer no gwe ne ko ti dialan change la jala Nuer chala da garanga Nuer ne mu kan Nuer contribute ka do ta la me be change be that many could year kitchen of Sudan and Medan. We can white my the walk, get 2013, Kapanai, Shadegam Kangare, K Equator, I mean Equator. Could a union time Equator, we can my the walk, Shadegam Equator. Chitom Shirilo Nishi de Kaira. Chidia Lakatum, Ramakai Kai, and utterly change ribbon. This is the change that is coming now. And this is the right time for you and the opposition to tea. Kumukan were satisfied being a genuine area of South Sudan order. She may be low. January, hiano ke leadership dum doa adi garkir hiano ba yaro ya bol about ne garde ci guru ne kenem from anya what is to dinka leader and sulta ba yen garang ba bana self ba bana bolmel have you accepted ki dong ba adut have you accepted an original be yen from the dinka domination regime to another dinka? This is not fair. You better look for another way. Even if when you're 20 years from now, no. We have to say no. Kana barwai jana na akan gada jana siang kamu go wuji bawi ma give chance kakinya Jomo Kenyatta he would kikuyu ga Daniel Choroti hara moy he would any chale kalenjin adoro de me shiban and then Chabane Kibaki. And then Chabane Uhuru Kenyatta. And then Chabane Dur again. But a current President Ruto. So Kadur to cool. Ador Mujidi did Hinkel, there I need on an Ebenewaj. A Dinka to Dinka regime, is it what you want? And this is what you want as a Nuer? We have said no, and we will not bow to support the current leadership of Bolmel. Finally, Maladi ye Nueri shiga fail. Chaka weekend. Economically, chaka weekend politically. Chana bunka SPLM and SPLM. There na long kamurwa jana ID. Chana right a peg darga when shall greedy. Wouldn't we shall kill a greedy? Go from 205, they made you guarantee up to now. Here I'm going to take it. But no matter I get rich. Politically, can we remain Carodian? Let me go down and when you chicken as well, chicken and support. Kwanetoka is the first family didn't care. The first family, I told another guy. The biggest businesses, big companies in the region of Sudan, Kenyan Gan Gankir. They are controlled by his own family. Many UN Security Council, you cannot publish, you can wait quiet control. We have to start from the NALPAT and the Nile Petroleum Corporation. Be a wood junker from the top up to the bottom. Many cleaners, and it is being dominated by the Dinka. So where is the transparency? Where is the distribution of the resources? Transparency. Mean institution, imagine Lian Baka Panai. Kakwa control when we are like here. Jani. Let's talk about the executive. Executive. Presidency. And I kill all the powers. the current constitution, a transitional constitution, the permanent constitution, the transitional constitution. All the powers can here. Can cabinet the other right to the and then China will get judiciary. Judiciary by winning Sharai Madutin Pangaji. Do we have a fair and justice system? Because Sudan, which is in jam, you cannot get a fair judgment. Because the judiciary, Kia Ganun into the Sudan, Mahakama Kelio, the High Court, could you control it? They win an agency of which, when you didn't work a Mahakama, Chanchi Bene election are now adopted, she made the king a election. Chinawa Mahakama, and Mahakama may we rule and would it shall rule to make into win. Can I allow to duel? Edan. She may take a queen, kind of Mahakama independent. She allowed and a quarter I don't root. I come get root. A Mahakama may what no, Tietere, Chatar, Kadun Quanga, a genuine camera. Like in Mahakama, Sudan, which I love to duel kill. There are Mahakama independent. And judiciary, Kani, Nuer Kani, Nengarudian. And then China Banka finance. Finance Jani, and I put your control. It is being controlled by Dinka, especially the Bank of South Sudan. And then Mbulmel himself, Mukukon Lewije, can you the Aldin Yen, petroleum, you get the Albaga Waira, who open the finance. You get the work pen. Again, China can defend. Mukula date. Defend Kelly on a cabo mondama. I know you can see manada. Yen were and Yeruduntin. While a pig which I you will get division. I'm a new day. Can you in a policy? Many women never buy you when piggy wouldn't ever do any mind. Human to pull young cabin. Do they have any control? Kamakalbo. Division 7 and Division 1. So you are not there. Go tell you go and decision. Share Quakanangton, Pig away, I don't day by you gang up. And this is the level you know you obtain. Tell a conquer different. One of the national security. By a call for Yinton, the young around the Latin. Are we there? Nen you don't in Nuer. One day in Tintini. Makayan Kayote Kume spell Mukuyene support. Agani, a chang again Garang Mute take a check. Garang cannot do this. You cannot control the state from the top up to the bottom. And the reason we must have to continue to struggle for the better South Sudan. Because the current regime has failed. The whole system, from the top to the bottom, Dinka after Dinka, Dinka after Dinka, from Garang to Selfa, now we are now transition to Bulmel or Adut, is another Dinka. Are you going to accept this? Where are the fairness? So, again, from 1983 to 84, I did an econ SPLM division military course, and that resulted to the massacre of the Nuer, Gajak, and also the law, Nuer from the Far East. And then, Chwabagur Dongde Nabamat. Lakin can K87. china ba mada puch mat kana oda balwang me shi anya ya tu shi mat kana SPLA ke 1991 de jena ngai bo no ne ngula da kana pin china ra pa ka da pin ba dan na pin ka wona ne there is a failure of the leadership within the SPLA. And then again china ba mat ke 2002 ke amazing to Nairobi kam garan kana karmashar. And then what happened again? Meji been to work 2013. And it's not been split. Many times more not good. Again, when they go to the area, South Sudan is now reaching a different stage, a different level. But at the current level of continent, you make sure and Madida Wune, January, Lamna wa being agent on better. Come and let you share a mental no freedom. Charada Parka Benba. A good example, Chala Jaka Dul Commandant. Can missionaries stable made Teba right for Balat? Chanay the one again. Chanay the one again, Chikaluga, Yuak, Chini, the Nan Chakanaka, I mean malaria and all this. Like finally, Christianity have a win. Awal budi dual kwa la kidia kuji wona ne dual kwa be chana ko nak ajan mana which no be ata freedom tano para da ban bina shuitin sia mata garma shara ka tijina mo and then bina ko kena bo bigi shuji ajan lingena man taman wala nyenya re gaja mana my wood is not inclusive, it's not exclusive. Meaning you go long sugar and wallet. Don't take it as a simple and not an Asia shop thing. A ray logger, you wish a be year. Tell me wine by year than a time. Bentil Chanadella rat. And a governor being an agent of freedom. Chabeba, it may come through the bloodshed and it may come through a political struggle. And a young gun worry and message on Walla. When coming a changa kelka paibangan, Yananga message no him, Kagora and every Jacob. You want to be a part of this chain? Join us. Being able to write a Dixon Galoak, and you make sure that the coalition of men, which are formed and where Michigan Benton, Quaker, which are a coalition of South Sudan opposition movement, cases up. For the betterment of tomorrow. Kawana, Kakan few things to the Konga Walla, Koshana go to be keep busy, Biado Kamal, Kamaguru Bijaya, and WhatsApp them and came.
Guy Joe Shaling Guasame, Joe Dana Charlotte Dixon, Shikon and Gajano. Roger long kata dana chiko to ogaja kan dob dana de ka kapchongaja kan ki malgamanan de latere wucha ka South Sudan. Jowling economy very important so bisheling ka dio ja chimugwa chekap etam dana neme gwan bana let ke je ko be ko dan je ko kon community micha marginalize ke cha chenga jek bogor kon dialo de kon tika ngai ka dob dan de kon niam ka ja anda mandu ne chang kon nyak Amalia no right was mekan online TV channel and while I shanga kelka paibang one run kina dangra with the jan dangra with the ditch and a guru Latin content bay Biatamal Nermala Kenyam Canadiala content bar one lim guasame and the manduni cham kon yamalia no right can online TV channel and while shanga kelka paibang one Ron kina dangra with the jandangra with the ditch konka breaking news be conning ray wicha ka South Sudan kule la longa shuka jandana bana writing ka jan guasme lerme pa ben ka jan gwaron wanga me awati ka kurmidin michro da nyokan tame ray wish ka longa shuk kama tiang ka kurmo tuoka kam deini SPLIO Kennedy ne SPD after the pink kirma yadit ka jawdana chalat ka ja to kon ka letu ngwante be kon ka ling ler batch kajan ler bana lingana bantin kon lat ko rodian rewika South Sudan bana keling do badanan with civil war we ka wanyam gwan mimo riar nuare kam kene ko rodian no kechineden kontila jang chikan kulu chui kulele bana chui ni nuare karo ban ler mission me bana jalinkel ka do badanan chajalat keje jo ne man gore bana raitin gwasme kurdana chituok kuri chituok no wale wa tuoga kam de ni SSPDF kene kuma SPLIO chikon ngaine kor gwase paiwa eno chikur shore lat borai na mrai kone wa chikur nyo tuoka jan gwasrun wanga paiwa ka kura mo wa kur midita long kam de ni SPLIO kene de inten kontila de ni doctor de ni kin yadi ken de doctor machar an kura mo wa chaja lo tin nyok chede mangai kono no ken konin dangro diti chukur je tuok chana janga je no kuma SPLIO chikala dun wo chiken gwasdan enti de ni la de ni kontila de ni kirm yadi di chikana shop ke chikare chikana cap la Matiang town no jen jo lim kone ke jarun wanga me chala do chukur mo che nyok mtuo ga nyok no ka tina kur tema ka jo dana chalat mo goro de kon dial tika ngech ka tin kon lat korodian so mti korudan no ngum tuo kur ga jen tema ka longo shugo nyok an rai kur me telo han a changak che joj by any mean nuare Canadian content bicho de jek in the end of the day ko kan nuare Canadian content kwale nak te nagrodian karodin kon koram ba do ko larno cer metu kam nuare karodin ko kane de kon te pinkir mi yadit kan nuare kane de kontin te re dwaran kon nuare ne konen chunkel ga doctor machar ba ko nuare but system dana US ke kir mi yadit system ko gorjen odera party micha establish mulat ke karim nuare gorjen odera jabat dera je destroy kana mo guyena no dera chong na mo chadia chong ajen do badanan ci kor ce to ga je wale so kor mo jatin ke kor mi di ci kor mo tot murai kon ko ci kor ce to bana ben kala rudien milaro den tam gor de rande ro de palpin ke liengde ta dan ci de ni nyang Uganda ci ben ke ja ke ci ke chotore wi ke ja ka South Sudan ana gor jen o beler be nywa ye kel but gor jen o be ja kwen ano ka tok English ka do bana cha non ka ja den ka kor bana je kula lat ano ka tok nat an biarun palpin brodo chulin ka ba milinga to ka waine ya ba je nyok mo ko je explain ka tok nuare goya. Breaking news from Numili, the border town between Uganda and South Sudan. Reports say that the Ugandan army called the Ugandan People Defense Forces, UPDF, has sent more soldiers into South Sudan. Source said between 3,000 to 4,000 soldiers entered, and they brought with them every weapon like tank and big artillery guns. Now, in total, almost 5,000 Ugandan soldiers are said to be in South Sudan. Most of them are in Juba, the capital city, and another important part of South Sudan. This news has caused worry among the people. Citizens are asking, why are foreign soldiers coming into our country? The reason for this deployment is not clear. The Ugandan movement has not explained it. The South Sudanese government is also silent, but many fear that the presence of foreign soldiers may make the political and security situation worse, not better. South Sudan is already fragile. There are conflicts between communities, clash between army groups, and deep mistrust between the country leader. Now, with thousands of foreign troops inside, people fear South Sudan may lose more control of its own land. Some analysts say this could be linked to oil protection, border security, or hidden agreement between the Juba and Kampala. Others believe it might be about protecting President Salva Kiir Mayardit, President Kiir government. Whatever the case, the people of South Sudan are nervous. Jo Lincoln mo gwaseme. Emandana chalat kiwar gadana chagor gwaseme. Shaji Uganda de Uganda tungwana lunken shakanen. Weken ke Juba. Jalkan ka torbiyele tungwan ke chige shobane ke Juba. No. Do badana nana gatina wa numli abodo dung South Sudan kene Uganda. Yan gwal dan nabna chungten na bokwich yom chuku bichu chup kamun dung South Sudan ajo chalat gwasme wa Uganda government kene kume South Sudan wa ken charden mat sikar wajen wo en kume mendanen la dung Uganda dere South Sudan dere jagang en kumen chalke Uganda People Defense Forces de niken no wa ken nankare wika South Sudan ko bika South Sudan bikana gang ban makula la breaking news jene neri deni chobge kindang jogo kindang wan chaka deploy chaka nangre wiki juba no ken jel ken ke heavy weapon ala mechi jite long jel ken ke tangne jel ken ka artillery guns metidit te jel ga ke gwad dan wogare wich ka jo chalat gwasame awa gwege jeno almost 5000 Uganda soldier awa kare wiki South Sudan deni ti kindang di tiji Uganda Tandien watching kanere wiki juba ka capital city kana goten ko kenel content ray wich kene ti shalka deni Uganda ti kan chaka deploy kume South Sudan ray wiki juba baneme chene de kone la je wich chaka jaka dira long ina chiga dir silzane ti ken kume no ngumuno ka foreign soldier ka jamore wich ka South Sudan Mun South Sudan ngumuno ngaji Uganda tinon Uganda ti deine anjo dana chalat awata dana kwa kan no ngere wike je awachi clear kwa kelode ko kan kum kan je explain dio je tam dan chana ngaji no nena of course ko kon very obvious ngai kon no Ugandan depend for deployment ko ke intent ko big Nuer biken kanak teleka another way mi biken blood ke reason way mi biga tere wike South Sudan gaje woken biken Nuer biken kanak full stop so na mo mengai kondiale shi mo gor ngang no medit but take kan jang kan ne ko ken of course signe dial nong mo dalat ko mo kir ma yadit na mene breaking news ngai kon South Sudan is collapsing economic way jack bana nyo wora tinta gwada danan chalat gajen go chaliet chaja gak ala petroleum gwala je yate geten ke kwa geten ka Port Sudan chaje ga breaking news me be jena ma ka kum South Sudan be economic dun South Sudan be yar ke bi ka ta dan te jena won jowlen kon mo gwasme nay kon de ala no kor kon to re ka South Sudan an mo kor mu jatok la ji Uganda la kanun ka kan ji Uganda to ne ka de kon sha mo ke yo te shan ne wala no mo karam kel ka kudang US dollar ka chankel alo chere mi equivalent to $6,000 to la ran ka keb de kel karwade no ken begare wike South Sudan ka jodana shalat wa de ko re wiko bi ken kir bi kana gang kana bolmel ko bi ke kuma kir bi kana gang wa ken ba wa wugare wiko ba ko jak ko goten continue tegaten jet ka jongle jet ka penal goten konen korten wa jakaten ko ken de control no can chake employ instead of deploying chake employ a local lot let can lo na kan warajen ladien that is the task and the job they are doing kajen job ko ala pay keja ko kan ke employees tika deployees misha deploy o le under kume lo de tin gwamo ko gwam bar but can ke employees ne kan de ka fire na ta misha kana karan kan la kan jalat Mija kana kan Nuer kan nganak ma de ka jonyo ka kira so jolin kon me ngai kon no to kon kur kon Nuer kan ko la jang ka tet kan do dial ko ken so kan ji Uganda minno kare wike South Sudan shi kon be surprise ngai kon no to kon korwen ano na kan kon bokan kon karen yal na won telm la jidit bado biya ngaje no nena even jang kilo den chates kamandana lat ke kira South Sudan right now right corner most of territories check lose kum Uganda kenang kum Uganda lat ke je kireno ganga ne ke ganga ne kumede but can you imagine Mike Moon kaje keje land tet nganda tet ke Uganda agente ke ko lat ke border issue lat ke jeno de demarcation de lat but demarcation bala de god money dial chaje deserted and wekele we right now kaje keje tere am de tin ke ji ko tere chike jen chike dori kan ga banpin ko tan dori shaka wang cha ban kum Uganda men nang ne kontila South Sudanese banere ko shu tong mi ke ji ko toria Nuer kuje maga kuyi do dien shushka ka tinga ka tet kirma yadit all this thing are kim yadit doing gore jeno benedial be mass population be ka lockout ka South Sudan land. Din nen yan tam ne ideal siang na camp refugee camp everywhere. IDPs quick, but near kola South Sudan instant kone ijere wika South Sudan mwana kene long 4 million people, more than that I believe, to take care of GCAM, Uganda, Kenya, Ethiopia, Sudan. Mo kon ka IDPs yo bukon jigono te near chopke 2 something million people population today wika ka South Sudan la IDP ne internet displaced person. So mi kon ka Sudan de je chana woning chana jig bane baye mat kay baye matin ne mane chana woning jig ka kuma Sudan ku kan kon la South Sudanese ku kan ka won gre kam go meten wi mi ka Sudan je kan ga mo ken dio ko ne kwal ku je no ngum shora lat ka refugees jing South Sudan. So jaju jana we are mondun we are South Sudan, but right now we kon kirma yadit gwas me we ko lamne de niji Uganda let the collet ko buko nyin kanwar de ne guje no South Sudan but kamal no South Sudan te but kamal there will be more displacement sooner or later. So the reality kirma yadit let kamo kala de ka do mi choro lot ke do mi cha gor no de jalat keje ngai kon en go na me charo lot ke che chong ke che te kalwang ko banat no baka joj ko kir tilade shikete go ka shikete go to dong de gor so ko kuje mo ka bej joban nyoko milling kono mgwaseme breaking news mudadien mugor de kodan palping kaliangde. This are not the breaking news ki dungi Uganda but they dung South Sudan ke kwiliet ala liet petroleum bede kun ya gwaseme ka tada na chalat keje na me bad news ko di petroleum kili da jan do bana ku South Sudan ku kan rejecten yodo kwal de na ko le pay ke la salaries tem right now yodo pay ke Uganda te kwa Uganda kwa la pay ko na kana ka jama ala anta cha company sha daga company mala le la je ko viati ka kor ler kana me abaja wala dio ko tok nat chana jalin ka tok English kenyam ko to kon ler ngwan go liang please pay attention ka talk tine. Another major breaking news, South Sudan oil has been shut down. A report from Sudan said the Minister of Energy and Petroleum in Khartoum has ordered an emergency shutdown of oil facility in the Eglik areas. The reason? Continuous drone attack by the Rapid Support Forces, RSF. On Saturday morning at about 2:30 a.m., drone attacked the Eglik operation base. The airport terminal, there was damage and workers are to be evacuated. This is very serious because Eglik is a key transit area. Oil from South Sudan flow through pipeline in Sudan to reach Port Sudan on the Red Sea. South Sudan has no direct access to the sea. Without Sudan's pipeline, it cannot export oil. South Sudan produces around 110,000 barrels of oil every day. And almost all government money comes from the oil. If oil stops flowing, salaries, service, and development project in South Sudan will suffer badly. Sudan Petroleum Minister said the attack put the life of civilian and worker at risk. They ordered the two main oil companies, Petco and 2B Opco, to shut down operations and evacuate workers. Earlier, just a few days before another drone attack, the drone attack killed 5 people and injured 7. The company also wrote a letter to their South Sudan partner. They warned that if the violence continued, all oil operations could stop completely. This shutdown is dangerous for both Sudan and South Sudan. For Sudan, it means losing transit fees and oil partnership money. For South Sudan, it could mean total economic collapse. The conflict in Sudan between the army and Rapid Support Force, which started in April 2023, is one of the worst crises in Africa. It has killed tens of thousands of people and displaced millions. Now the war is directly affecting South Sudan life. Line oil. Jolin kon magwaseme. Biadil ngajin wonene. So name a turning point kukuma South Sudan right now. And a breaking news, she news mugwa kanitin kontila South Sudan government. Kenit kontin US ke oil tinakanuare keje, cause men ngay kona oil again the main source of income ko South Sudan. Right now ke Jordan chalat gwasame netin kon tin takalwang ka Sudan no ken South Sudan oil chaje gak no aram roi gwasme minister dung energy and petroleum rai wikas Khartoum ke dung Sudan ken de kon lar ko nene liet anti eglik a gakaje so cha facility ni dial cha ka gaklik area dobdana gakaje awa dobdana ci rapid support force awana kana ke bokana ka drone chala de no pan kaje dioje Saturday morning pan kaje ka taro mite jandang diok dioje at night 2:30 am at night watch the drone chena attack keglik operation base gwadan tilieteten no and gwada money mishirenyal che boko wache terminal airport maintain winimi wache je dame ke che yar lo che ngwan che yar so na meni wacha order cha YouTube akume dungo jami ala dungi jis Sudan no ba gwadi alen content li eteketen ba ga delga ko cha gorno tekrek modela to no en drone dan ci bok point de karwa de chana che kana ko jen goten kondi ko target wa ka goten kontin ti transit teten la gwada dan la mentek eglik no ko eglik jen gwada dan to yal pipeline teten ba liet dung South Sudan ba chu latin ba kula jal ka pipeline la ma tur to ton so ma tur ti bi kula jal ka ide ma bi shop ka Port Sudan on bi kula wakaret si no ko ngai kondi ale South Sudan tele je direct access ke yirchal ke si so mutel Sudan pipeline ti la ma tur ti tel do mi de oil de export ke je ala liet na la dung South Sudan ke de menu ma dong and the money la kula we kan pipeline de tone and then bajorat ne ka Port Sudan so right now me lero de jenene South Sudan no la de ko lel burmiel ti chok 110,000 de kon larno kilo to kor with the kino well awala ka produce so kan burmiel to tone ke burmiel petroleum ka yo ba kula nang ba ko kok Chenkel la 110,000 barrel la kan kanang biken ka produce ba ko lokok so no mem gi economy kuma South Sudan jan gwada la yola ka jiketen so oil is very important michi liega tema che chuong ti do bana jele je che chuong che mchala no cha ja kap chuong tema bukon ngaje no nene ti kuma South Sudan che tul bi economic de bariap development project let ko lat ka ku development ka bi kariap okay telembro de ladan winimi ko ngai kono no jen gwada na kukan binen kukan rejecten so ka kuje mo bin kono be jek so jede bi angaje no South Sudan chetul so men dan te gilik ajan tar kamanda en tilieteten la kula nang ten baje kulo nang ka Sudan potong mi ke Port Sudan so Sudan Petroleum Minister Jordan Chilat Gwasme ajanene ta danan dong china chikare chikan jega ko chala ro chane de shop die shaganak na ka jan attack paiwa ne die shaganak jan drone kane de kon lalat na chajula de no baje gagan company namo ala menyo yal companies michal petco kan michal ga 2B o PCO wa baga shutdown operation yen kele baje shutdown ka bane de kon lalat ba ka evacuate lad ba ko weekend yalan gwasmone to jenta dana le rode jentam ko chede gwano banaw ka liya ka kweliet jiso dana ko moy kane ke yo no chicken gujino ngwano baje gaka na mo so mrai ko na chicken warga chicken sho gwar kuma South Sudan eno gang na liet chicken South Sudan partnerian chicken jogono baliet baje gak kodi and temache togono liu natin so oil operation charge to stop completely no can do bana ga kaje aliya da liu na kaje ko tema la ne ko chara pi support force chicken ngong je no jen court ni jen tenon melet ken long la go the content kuliyet ko la kan go the kon ko kan la damage ngai kona gitta ne chi amara kan mala len mite mi choda lat chikana gor no te mu gwam de to no so kir me ya didn't tema and the man ko kona linga cha ju je no chi oil te jek ma economic de be jek no ka pana ngaje no ne ti kir me ya dit point na telam bele luang ante ke tama me cause mi chin economy ke jega tel yuti be yor kum Uganda tel be yor ke ko en pipeline la let kula jel ke je men ko reng ma char ko je le yar ke je ne won ko jurona so pipeline jen cha yar jen sha ne che je ko ne so rapid support force wujin winami no chikan gujano men din jen ke be ken liet be ken del yar be ken interrupt no teramo bi ne di albu chuchu kel so jom chit ken me mishalat right now ke me le rode mo gorde kon di alte ke liang ke ka kan muto ke tin kon lat ko din question one ne economic dun so Sudan bagwa wala che bagwa ke ba on yamde ko ken en o yalla me cha ko ngo gantama nyen gwa danen ko kwa yole jekten la salary nitin kon la kam kana nyen gwa dan kwa service ni project ne tin lat ke dul lat ke chare kwa la jekten non ke ken yole kon kwa la pe kum Uganda be survive at this point metale yo ke be kana gujeno bika liap men mi dong cha ko ken cha men mi chi cha pipeline cha nyom le puje ka cha lar ne tinu eno ba pipeline ba je lep wa ngode ereng midit kana ngaji no ba je malep kodi wa kor ngode tin ken kor mo karo na kapchong kam de ni rapid support force ken de ni kontila de ni kume so jo me de kon link ka do bran che to ko ya jo ban len gwa same breaking news mi che to gre which kapushala gwan mi shala no sha de ni SSPDF the South Sudan People Defense Force ya connecting ban jo me ban jelinga gwa te nyam beja kwenye ka tok English ko korbe la jega nat. The third breaking story come from the Greater Pibor administrative area, also known as Greater Pibor or GPAA. On Saturday night in Jebel Buma main market, army youths from the Murle community attack. According to the police, two security officers died. One was a soldier from the South Sudan People Defense Forces, the other was a police officer. The attacker also shot at trader. 3 traders were injured in the attack. The State Police Commissioner, Major General Abdallah Akoch, confirmed the incident. He said investigations are ongoing, but it is hard to reach the market because of transport problem. Jacob Wershum Jok, the Information Minister of Greater People Administrative Area, condemned the attack. He confirmed the market is now closed and urged people to remain calm. He said authorities are following up to catch the attackers. The attack show again in the insecurity in South Sudan rural area market, which should be safe for trade and business, often become a target of army use. These attacks harm not only life but also the economy of local communities. Jowling yana magwasa me ring muchore lat. Rega jitu ogani a droko langai kon murleni wo tadi ani shang. Kan la kan yingna da kan kamach de kan naga na gwazi kan jiktina no shida men link ona gwasa me wachi kan de ne SSPDF dangaro chikan kan gram kele police ram kele ran SSPDF so na me michi tuogre we dia na we en me no so rich kreti kare to so mugi kono de ala kono shaden la gwasa me kare tlero tene ta ko kono tore we ka South Sudan kare kon latke re wich but no nana so Sudan ka jen gwasame she is served. When we look at these three big stories together, we see a picture of country under great pressure. Foreign troops or Uganda are entering South Sudan in large number. This makes people question who really controls security. Number 2, oil shutdown in Higlik puts South Sudan economy at great risk. Without oil, the government has no money to pay salaries or deliver services. Number 3, local insecurity like the Murle youth attack show that communities still suffer violence and instability every day. For the ordinary citizen, this event brings fear and uncertainty. People want peace, stability, and development, but what they see is more soldier, more shutdown, and more attack. South Sudan leaders are now under pressure to explain why foreign troops here. What will happen to the oil? How will local security be improved? If no clear answers are given, trust between citizen and government may weaken even more. In conclusion, South Sudan today faces multiple challenges: foreign troops on its soil, oil shutdown threatening the economy, and insecurity affecting local communities. The people of South Sudan want peace and independence, but this event raises a big question. Is the country moving forward, or is it being pushed backward by outside forces, internal conflict, and weak governance? The coming week will be very important. Citizens, leaders, and international partners will all watch closely. Will South Sudan find a solution to this problem, or will the crisis grow bigger? So, Mr. Kaname, I'm linking on getting corn a lot Carodian, Ration with me. Richten corn, tin talk. Tada Shuinakaja, corn corn lat Carodian. Menjak, quick corn lat Carodian car penal, can corrigan corn tin. Tuoke ji Equatoria kam dien kaneti konti la dini kem yadit. So dung longshuk ka gwasen be by nong information ka kwida kana manana tuoka ka fangak bana tin kon lat ko bana linka le ren jogan beben ena biata kamal ban yo jekle har dien chuje pro jeno jin bi subscribe ka bi notification bell bi jetwan ko de la titi de kan chamala shib gwasne tin gor kon kan wode ko tin biata kamal bye bye.